Hello and welcome to Ooled Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Aries. If Aries is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so we have the Lover's card. Okay, and let's go ahead and see what these tea leaves have to say tonight. All right. And so, if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. All right, so I saw we had a 10, 1, 0, and also we have 31 right there. So we have 10 and 31. Okay. We have 3 people here. 3 people there. We have a person up here sitting. And now this has very much this Empress energy. Okay, so we have an Empress energy. We have 3 people. I almost feel like these would be like friends, confidants, people who are probably close to you in your life, who kind of fill the space of your social connections. This might be family, it might be acquaintances, friends, people at work. But I do feel like there is an aspect of leadership on your part here. I almost kind of wonder, are these like your grown children or, I don't know. So like, I'm almost thinking of when I had roommates, right? When I was younger, very, very much younger. I immediately became kind of the house mom, right? And so kind of a situation where, yeah, these people were my peers and older actually, but, somebody had to kind of take control of the order of things. And, sometimes it has to be a Virgo mom that comes in there. Well, I wasn't a mom then, but, and so I kind of almost feel like, yeah, there's this sense of kind of creating order where there might be a little bit of chaos, right? But ultimately, these are people that look up to you. And that's the big thing here is these are people that look to you for guidance. When there are things that need to be worked out, I think that you are the person to go. You have a level head. You have deep insights. You have like a pretty good sense or ability to problem solve, get things kind of worked out. And so I feel that this is kind of, really a natural role for you. You're really good at being that kind of, point of contact for other people, right? And so much of this is that I feel that you've lived a life where maybe you were like the oldest sibling or, one of the older siblings that took care of the other kids in the family. You had to maybe grow up a little quicker than everybody else. There were a lot of responsibilities that kind of fell upon your shoulders. And so you have become, somebody who is good at taking care of things, right? You don't just kind of sit around and toil in them. You are proactive. It's, there's a problem, something needs to be done. All right, let's get going, right? You're not going to just sit there and watch it devolve. And And so I feel like you're very much a positive influence on those who are in your life. Not even like your own children, but I would say like their friends, people within your community, your workplace, and so on. Now, we also have in the hand of the Empress, the Ace of Cups. Okay, so now I'm like, oh, is this the Queen of Cups energy? No, I think it's still the Empress, and we have the cup. And so I do feel like there is a real sense of emotional fulfillment in being this person for yourself and for others. Okay, I feel like this is like one of the great things of your life, right? We all have a few archetypes that we fulfill, and these feel so fulfilling. You know, for me, well, of course, motherhood. Yeah, I love being a mother. It's difficult. It's a lot of work. I've learned more in this last few years than I have ever, right? And it's one of the things that I will always identify with. And I never understood that until I had a child. I never, I kind of avoided being a mother. And I didn't understand why, when people became parents, that was like, all of a sudden that's their whole persona kind of gets wrapped up in that. Not everybody, but a lot of people. And I thought, well, that kind of stinks for them, right? Well, no. When it happened for me, I realized something that I could not see from the other side, right? And so, that's one for me. Is being this mother figure, the queen of discs is what I feel most akin to. But we all have our things, right? I also very much feel like the fool a lot of times, or I maybe wish for that energy more. Also the Knight of Cups, another big one for me. This is also what represents my beloved. And so anyways, we all have these archetypes. And I feel for you, that Empress archetype, very much alive in your life. Something that you are very proud of. And you should be. Okay, let's see. What else do we have going on here? Now, I want to look at this one here. It looks like... Now, I'm going to say this looks like Lou to me, or I know it looks like a J, but it kind of, to me, I'm reading it as like Louis or Louie or Lou as a name. Okay. Let's see. So we have 55 right here. Okay, so we have a person up here who we have a person standing. We have some kind of cauldron or large pot. We have people bringing things to this person, offerings, ingredients, something like this. So again, I feel like there's such a lot of feminine energy in your life. Almost like maybe you grew up with a bunch of sisters, or, the house is the majority women. And I feel like maybe you have daughters, or you're living, among the majority of is women. Now we also have 8 and 8, or infinity signs, okay? And I feel like this dynamic, these relationships are unbreakable. The bond is everlasting. These have soul contracts. These are people that you manifest with throughout your incarnate cycles. And so they've been in your life for many lives. And I do feel that there is also a sense of magic here. Magic, whimsy, ability. Maybe you are somebody who works with herbs, natural medicines, maybe you do some kind of spell work or path working, fetish, or not to be confused. I know I say this word a lot on here. The fetish is a kind of magic, right? Usually related to, people think of like voodoo, Vondu, maybe something like Santeria or whatever, but it is a form of magic, or techniques within magic. And so anyways, it's some kind of intentional, it might even be cooking, right? There's an intentional thing going on here, though. If it is like cooking, I could see this. We're getting into something like whole foods, or maybe some kind of like plant-based or something. There is an intentional reason for this, and it could be health, it could be ethics, it could be just a fondness for certain kinds of cuisine, or wanting to know how to cook a lot of things. But again, this also could be things like magic. Maybe you're doing some kind of plant magic or alchemy or whatever. But I think that ultimately it does have a kind of a rotation around or within the realm of wellness. Okay. So, you are a creator, you are a magician, you are an empress, you are, surrounded by, and I almost am thinking of like all these, kind of interesting and beautiful nymphs, right? And I was reading just a few, hours ago, looking at paintings of satyrs and nymphs. And this is that kind of beautiful grouping of devotees in the wilderness, in the woods, in the fields, partaking in ceremony and celebration and so on. But I feel like there's this kind of energy of laughing and giggling and crying and arguing and fighting and belovedness and devastation and jealousy and uplifting one another. The only place that you can find these kinds of energies is in groupings of women, and so I feel like there's kind of this sense of being swept away into this world, almost to the degree of being kind of cloistered, right? Not kept away from the world and not necessarily isolated from the world, but this is your predominant reality, to be among this family, to be among these, people or roommates or friends or whatever. And there is a closeness that maybe is a rarity, right? I don't think that many other families that are this close, to choose to be among one another. I think most of the time these days anyhow, it seems that people are more and more separate. And so this is such a blessing for you to have kind of this kind of lifestyle. Okay, let's see. We're going to go over here. Now, we have a windmill. Okay. We also have a bird up here. Immediately, I think of, whenever I see a windmill, I think of Don Quixote. So I do feel, yeah, there is a journey here. You know, at times I think things can be kind of confusing, surreal. We have the owl as well. So I feel that you are somebody who really does have eyes to see. You are clairvoyant, you are psychic, you are an artist, you look at the world, maybe you're a poet. You look at the world and you see it in a way that is very distinct and different than most people around you. I feel that when you were young, you probably had some trouble in school relating to others. Maybe you were kind of singled out from these groups of people. And maybe this is why you have such an involved personal life with your family or your chosen family, because in the outer world you don't necessarily fit in that much, which, listen, low-key, not a bad thing. Good for you, really, you know, but it's not easy when you're going through it, when you're a kid, right? But I do feel, yeah, that there is a sense of kind of magical thinking and living a life that is you know, quite superstitious. Maybe your life is full of rituals and things that you do that maybe others might not understand, but that's okay because it is meaningful to you, right? And that's what matters. And so we have that owl. We have that owl of wisdom, the watcher, the perceiver. We also have the bird up there. And so, you know, I think that you receive revelation, you receive visions, you see things in a, like I said, in a way that most people don't, but also very clearly, right? It might seem quite distorted or surreal or kind of a romantic vision of the world, but you do receive these kinds of, you know, messages. You maybe are somebody who has premonitions, or you're good at reading people, or, you know, whatever it is. You're very much connected in that way. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to do our divine doors over here cards. I'm going to go ahead and flip through. I'm going to stop where it feels right. We'll see what these have. Oh, this is beautiful. One of the Buddhas. I love these temples on these cards. It says offerings. Abundance lies in the heart that allows. Share more than expected and see love come around. Share more than expected and see love come around. Now, if you know me and you know this channel, you know that this is the way that I try to live and interact with everybody. You know, I do feel it's important. Now, to your level of comfort, of course, we all need to have our boundaries, but to be as open as we can, to be ourselves as much as we can. And something that I always tell my daughter is, yeah, we treat people better than they treat us. Not because we're weak, not because we're going to let somebody get over on us, you know, but it is because it's the only way that this world will heal. It's the only way that we will have connections with others, and maybe it will save somebody. Not that we're here to save it. Nobody can save you. But the act of treating somebody with kindness, respect, with compassion, even if they're like the biggest, you know, whatever expletive here, you know, person in the world, very rude, unkind, short with you, whatever, pushy. Now we need to have our boundaries, of course, but to treat somebody better than they treat you. It might be a moment where they see, listen, the world is not as bad as I perceive it to be. There are people out here who do care about one another. And maybe I should try a little harder to be, you know, kinder to others. You know, and to me, that's a win. Not only that, you go to bed at night feeling much better about yourself, about life, when you have gotten through a day and you know that you have treated people with kindness, with your heart open, and to be as giving as you can, to be of service. It doesn't have to be monetary. You know, we immediately think, oh, it's about giving money or, you know, whatever, some physical thing. No, sometimes it's just listening. Sometimes it's saying, how are you doing today? And not just walking. Keep walking, right? You sit and you listen. You know, even if it's really boring. Even if they are saying the same thing the last person said, talking about the weather or whatever. Sometimes just giving somebody the opportunity to be heard, giving them a few moments of your day can change everything for them. It can change everything for you as well. So anyways, I love you. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. If you would be so kind as to like the video, please think about doing that. Also, if you want to leave a comment, please do. I read them all. I'd love to hear from you. Yeah, I think that's it, Aries. So I love you. I love you. I love you. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk again real soon.